Now, that's probably why they're not fucking here. And the aliens that do come down here and want to know what's going on, or you might get caught in the cornfield. I feel like those are like maybe teenage aliens who do shit that they're not supposed to do, like their parents tell them to stay home, but they steal the UFO from the house, from the garage, or some shit, and they're like, "We're going to Earth," because come on, man. It doesn't matter what species you are. There's always those
Dumb motherfucker.
those
Teenagers
outliers that
bugging
just
out.
don't listen. You know what I mean?
That's a
So
good point. They probably
yeah,
drunk or high and
they had
driving
too much
around.
alien juice or some shit. You know what I mean? Yeah, bro. So
It'd be
that's
crazy if
how I kind of feel.
aliens. What about if all the aliens was just like white hillbillies?
And they were just trying to communicate with like their fellow brethren. It's
Not
yeah,
that, but like they were just like that's like the highest level of like relaxing as you could be as like a white hillbilly dude.
oh man.
What is that? What about that's the ultimate level of intelligence?
I would be very upset. I would be extremely upset like that. And it's not just because it's white hillbillies, but it's mostly because I just thought aliens were so intelligent.
Maybe they
And
not.
and they were just like, fuck it, we just like that. I think
That would be
that's what would
great.
kill me, bro. It's like if aliens came down and was like, we just like y'all, man. We drink Budweiser too. And I'm like, oh fuck, for real?
And I know, like, because I've been thinking about this lately. I know this is not about UFOs, but just this thing, because I think like UFOs and like deities and like angels and gods are all kind of like in the same like majestic, mystic realm, right?
Yeah.
Of because not only like a few people say they've ever seen them and stuff, and they're like all mystic and strange. But I think about like, what about if like God really is like white and like he don't like niggas?
Yeah.
Like that, I
That's
would.
what I think. I think that he doesn't like black. I think I don't know about him being white. You're stupid, bro. You're so stupid. Listen to me, bro. I'm dead ass, man. I don't know so much about him being white, but I definitely believe that he is racist, man. Like he was it's in the Bible. I'm dead ass, bro. He was okay with slavery. He was
But I
okay
think,
with
but
slavery, and
after you
I
got
don't
done with
care how you
slavery, you
flip
had,
it.
yeah, I'm trying to flip it. It
Yeah,
was
no,
okay, but it was like
it
it
was
wasn't
okay.
slavery. It was it was
This
like in
black man just said slavery was okay.
seven.
Y'all hear that?
See, y'all trying to Kanye West me. Now 7 is like what was it? 7 years of being like a slave. I guess that's for lack of a better word. You can say indentured servant, whatever, nigga. 7 years of being a slave, and then you would get your own plot of land, and you get to have your own cattle and all of that stuff. That was God's way of saying like he understands the world and he wants you to have something afterwards so you can build your own thing, and then that person will have a slave. I think slave is just a bad word
If
to
you can, if
use.
listen, exactly. And coming
Jesus,
from somebody who created the world, right?
it's
Coming
not a
from
good word.
someone who can see the future and knows every hair or how many hairs you have on your head.
Alpha and
You're
Omega and
trying
all
to
that.
tell
Yeah.
me like he thought so one dimensionally in that in that time frame, in that realm, I guess, when he created the Bible. So why didn't you think about like all the advancements that the world was going to advance upon? How did you not see that? Like, how is it that this book you read is this book you wrote or had written is going to be good enough rules for people in 2020? Like, there were no cars back then. There were no like there were no clothes. They didn't have
Barely no fucking
shoelaces and
houses.
shit. You know what I mean?
Most people
But
live in
you
a
wrote
fucking
like
shack.
these life laws and rules so people could live their whole lives forever. I just can't get down with it, man. Either that or he didn't think the world would still be a thing after a certain amount of time. He didn't
So
expect for us to go on this long.
that's what I'm saying. Like, you really don't know, and it's like the same thing with like UFOs and like all of that. Like, I would not be surprised if UFOs are racist. I just wouldn't. And
I would, bro.
I think like being technologically advanced, like we was just talking about the Google AI thing, right? I think it's
Yeah,
called
being
Linda
sentient.
or something. Linda,
Mhm.
I think is the
It's
AI
always
system.
some white name too, ain't it?
I mean,
It's
white
never
people
like
created the shit.
Shamika or
No,
but still though.
but I
They've
know, but
upgraded
like,
on storms, man. Storm names. They change the storm names. Well, every storm is the next letter in the alphabet from the last
yeah, but it's
storm.
like a
Yo,
scientific
we
reason why they do that. Like, that's
right,
not
but
just
they give
random.
but they give like a little blacker urban names now, you know?
They're all like Latino though, actually. El Nino,
Yes, yes.
they're all Latino.
You picked one. You picked one storm, like the biggest storm
Nigga,
of
I
all
don't
time.
name what's another one?
Katrina. I think Katrina's a black name,
It can be used
but
for
it
black
was
people
also the worst storm, like the worst fucking
and they hit a whole bunch of black people, so you might as well
yeah,
name
yeah.
some ghetto ass Katrina.
Uh, I don't know. I don't
I'm
know.
trying to tell you, and most of them shits are
But
Latin.
let me ask you back to the aliens being racist. Why? I don't want to say why is it a concern? Why is it?
Why do I
Why do you
think that's
think?
their
Yeah,
fault?
yeah, yeah. Why do you think that?
I think that when you are an elitist, it comes with a sense of racism.
Okay.
That makes sense. So like every person that I know that's an elitist, you know how they be like, oh, the right don't like the left because they always trying to help minority people.
Right, right,
But
right.
minority people get mad that the left try to help us because they kind of like try to tell us how we can improve instead of just
Mhm.
like giving us like a bunch of money or like giving us the opportunity to do something. They say this is how you can improve to be a better person. Like,
Right.
bitch, why do I need to be a better person? Why the fuck are you telling me that?
Mhm.
Someone that was born with every opportunity. Now you telling me that I have to be a better person. What type of racist shit? That's like counter racism. It's microaggression, right? I feel like that's how like aliens would be. Like they would only want to be around the smartest people. They would only want to be around the people that have the most things because they to have that type of technology, they're probably smart,
Mhm.
the smartest and richest, right?
Right.
You hope that they evolve beyond that, right? Like a more like a Buddhist type of thing. But you don't fucking know. If they come in here in the ship, that ship is probably armed for war. You have no idea. So I would see them seeing black and brown people as less than, and you know we don't have the best in like the best education system, so we might not be intelligence in terms of science and all of these different botany and you know biology and shit like that. So they might not respect our level of intelligence, and they might think that we're the lesser form of this earth and deserve to be enslaved. And that's just how I feel like it comes with anyone that's elite status. That's how they look at black and brown people.
Let me say this, bro.
That was actually
That is
very intelligent breakdown for this dumb episode.
let me let me tell you why it can be intelligent, but it's also kind of sad.
Yep.
That is PTSD talking, bro.
Oh yes, it
To
is.
where you
All day.
actually believe that aliens who may or may not be real are you've made a reason for why they can be racist towards us, and you're not wrong.
I know
Like
it sounded
you're
great,
not
didn't
wrong at
it?
all. Yeah, it's just scary to think that some entity in the world or in the universe they know racism too. Like racism is so popular that they know what it is too, and they know to separate this from that, or
Yep.
this hair from that hair, or this color skin from that color skin. I
Mhm.
personally believe in a bigger, brighter, open universe where if they hate us, it's because they don't know who the hell we are, or maybe
Right.
they've created movies about how dangerous we could be towards them. But I never ever would have thought that it would have been like on some racist shit.
It could
I don't think that aliens can be racist, but you explaining it the way that you did, um, it was great because the PTSD has a stranglehold on you. And now, because I mean, that fucking happens with dogs, right? You know,
yep.
dogs are supposedly colorblind, but they could tell the difference between a black man and a white person, and they automatically go towards the black person or want to attack the black person.
They get
And of
trained to
course,
do it.
that could be right.
We're seen as
That
the
can
threat. We're seen as the
exactly,
threat. And that doesn't
exactly.
it might not have to do with color, but it might just have to be like this is what we identify as what people are afraid of in
Mhm.
general. So that's the reason why aliens will come down here and be afraid of us in general. Like imagine if like aliens dropped in like Compton or something. We're not gonna rob them. We're gonna
Yeah.
be just like every other, you know, neighborhood. We're gonna be fascinated, intrigued, and want to know more, you know.
Invite
But
them
it's a
to the
totally
barbecue and shit.
right. It's a totally different experience than if they get dropped in like how like that show is Resident Alien, where he got
Mhm.
dropped off in Colorado. You know, it was a totally different type of environment. You know what I mean? So a lot of that shit matters. And I know that sounds like us putting our like earthly problems onto like this entity that's probably so above that. But
Yeah.
nigga, if you listen to like real UFO scientists and those people that's in that community, bro, they talk about how the Greys don't like the fairies and all of that. Like there's beef between that in
Let me
them.
say this. Let me say this. What if they're racist towards white people? Because they always seem to get a white person and they probe them, they kidnap them, they do all those things. It's never any black people that have seen it or who have been abducted or anything like that.
Well,
And if it is a black person, if it is, then it's a black person in a white neighborhood, and they ass shouldn't be there. It's always because of a black person who shouldn't be where the hell they are. Always. But I just pray that if aliens are real, I hope that they hate us the way that they hate everyone else and not worse because of
yeah,
skin color.
I'm
I would
cool
be
with the equal hate.
so fucking disappointed. You know what this reminds me of? Have you ever seen that Key and Peele sketch? That skit from Key and Peele where they have like that zombie outbreak, but the zombies are afraid of all the black people. They're not killing any black people. Like so, it like Key and Peele like running down the road and shit, right? And they're realizing that these zombies, they're all zombified and shit, doing like this, and then like they realize they're not coming any closer towards them. You know what I mean? And so it's like, wait a minute, and then they get closer to the alien or to the zombie, and they're like this to the zombie, and the zombie's like, oh, acting like he doesn't see them. Like it's
I ain't
literally
saying it.
ignoring the black people. And like, I forget which one of them was. They're like, can you believe this shit? And then to top it all off, they had seen like over a fence, there were like a group of other black people and they were having a barbecue. And they were like, hey, y'all come over here and have a good time with us, man. Isn't this great? They ain't fucking with us at all, man. So they back there partying and shit, having a barbecue, and and all the zombies is running away from the black folks to get. Listen.
That's how
I
you
would
hope
be
it is.
sorely disappointed. For zombies, yes, right? Because you know what zombies is. Like zombies, they want to eat your brains and all that shit, turn you into zombies. Aliens, we don't know what they want just yet. You
So
know what I
look,
mean? So
there's been
I just really hope and pray that aliens are not racist. I want that because I want them to be smarter than us. And I feel like those one of those things that they just don't give a shit about because they want to know about our technology or know about us or just for learning purposes, not to fucking take over everything, you know?